at al-Adiyah, or the chargers, or those that run. Number 100. This is one of the earlier Meccan surahs, with its depths and its rhythm, as far as its language sublimity is concerned. Its subject matter is the irresistible nature of spiritual power and knowledge, contrasted with unregenerate man's ingratitude, pettiness, helplessness, and ignorance. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعاديات دبها فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات سبها فأثرن به نقعا فوسدن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. صدق الله العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Wal Adiyati Dabhan. By the racers panting, meaning the horses bearing riders as that they race to attack the enemy. Here we have the substantive proposition in the verses 6 and 8 below, and the metaphors enforcing the lesson in verses 1 to 5. They have at least 3 layers of meaning. Number 1, look at the chargers, mares or swift camels, panting for war on behalf of their masters. Off they go, striking fire with their hoofs by night at the behest of their riders. They push home the charge in the morning, chivalrously giving the enemy the benefit of daylight, and regardless of flashing steel or the weapons of their enemies, they boldly penetrate into the midst of their foe, meaning enemy, risking their lives for the cause. Does unregenerate man show that fidelity to his Lord Allah? On the contrary, he is ungrateful to Allah. He shows that by his deeds he is violently in love with wealth and gain, things that perish. Number 2, by the figure of metonymy, the brave fidelity of the war horse may stand for that of the brave man, and true who rely to the standard of Allah and carry it to victory, contrasted with the poltronery and pettiness of unregenerate man. Number 3, the whole conflict, fighting and victory, may be applied to spiritual warfare against those who are caught and overwhelmed in the camp of evil. Falmuriyati qadhan, and strike sparks of fire, meaning the producers of sparks when striking their hoofs while galloping over rocky terrain. with their hopes, if we with their hopes, if we suppose the march to be in the dead of night, the sparks of fire would be still more conspicuous. فالمغيرات صبحا, and push home the charge in the morning, meaning while the enemy is unaware, they push the charges, they push at the dawn. Here, we may suppose a surprise attack, but yet a chivalrous attack by daylight. The enemy is punished through his own liturgy and unpreparedness, apart from the strength, fire, and spirit of the forces of righteousness. فَأَشَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا, and raise the dust in clouds the while. The clouds of dust typify the ignorance and confusion in the minds of those who oppose truth. فَوَسَدْنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا, and penetrate forthwith into the midst of the enemy mass, meaning the forces of evil mass themselves for strength, but the massing itself may become a means for their speedy undoing. فَوَسَطْنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا, arriving thereby in the center collectively, meaning penetrating into the enemy ranks during a surprise attack. The forces of evil mass themselves for strength, but their missing itself may become a means for their speedy undoing. Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud. Truly, man is to his Lord ungrateful. Man means unregenerate man. In contrast to those who receive guidance and wage unceasing war with evil, it is ungrateful. He is ungrateful to his Lord and cherisher, he who created him and sustains him and sends his blessings and favors at all times. The ingratitude may be shown by thoughts, words, and deeds, by forgetting or denying Allah and His goodness, by misusing His gifts, or by injustice to His creatures. وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ, and to that fact he bears witness by his deeds. Man himself, by his conduct, proves the charge of treason against himself. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ, and violent is his love of wealth. What an evil choice he makes in committing treason against his own benefactor by going after the petty baubles of this world's wealth and fleeting gains. أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْشِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ, doesn't he know when that which is in the graves is scattered abroad? Dead bodies, secret plots, evil thoughts, and imaginings long since buried will yet stand forth before the judgment seat of Allah, instead of being closely hidden or blotted out as they will have been from the consciousness of mankind. They will stand out as from the consciousness of Allah, which is all embracing and never suffers from sleep or fatigue. وَخُسِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, and that which is locked up in human breasts is made manifest. Inna rabbahum bihim yawma izin lakhabir, that their Lord had been well acquainted with them even to that day. Allah's knowledge is full and vigilant at all times. But on that day it will reveal to men secrets which they had long forgotten. For the book of their deeds will be made manifest at judgment. So this is Surah Al-Adiyat, which really teaches us about the irresistible nature of spiritual power and knowledge, okay, of man's ingratitude, pettiness, helplessness, and ignorance. That's all for the Surat. Hope to see you in the next Surah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.